The North Indian state of Punjab is in the midst of a drug epidemic that's threatening to destroy a generation of young men. Crack, smack, prescription pills and, of course, heroin are easily found on the streets of this state's cities and villages. The crisis is fuelled by an under-resourced and sometimes complicit police force, struggling to stop the flow of drugs from neighbouring Pakistan. Stephanie March reports from India's border with Pakistan.
India's war on drugs lies on this frontier.
Yeah, frankly speaking, the drug smuggling is a big problem, definitely here.
All day and all night, it's drudging work. Wheat farms on one side, a barbed wire fence on the other. A few hundred metres away is Pakistan. On the border, these troops are searching for heroin and other drugs. They're manufactured in Afghanistan, then transported through Pakistan before they hit the streets of India. It's a vast smuggling network involving simple Indian farmers and sophisticated criminal networks trying to find ways to get drugs past the troops and the barbed wire fence.
So they try to throw over, that's the first method they try to employ. In case they can't succeed that, they try to pump it through a pipe. They use plastic pipes through which they pump it out. And if in both the ways, if they are not able to succeed, then they go for a method called, they conceal it on the other side of the fence, and they try to inform the persons who are here this side. So those people try to go that side and then get that things back.
Today is a good day for the Border Security Force. While we were filming with these troops, we got word their colleagues had made a bust a few kilometres away. This 80-year-old farmer was caught coming back from his fields on the fence line. Inside this simple shovel is a kilogram of heroin with a street value of about $15,000.
As long as there is a demand, there is always a supply, and those people always find means to do it. And we are chalking out strategies accordingly. As they change their strategies, we also change our strategies, and we're trying our best to stop it. Our aim is just to stop, definitely. But the first thing is that the demand has to reduce.
The border between Pakistan and Punjab is about 550 kilometres long. There are barbed wire fences the whole way down and floodlights. But despite these measures, the drugs just keep coming.
The problem is demand is soaring.
The problem of drug addiction is definitely increasing day by day in Punjab.
In the villages and cities across Punjab, drug use is rampant. Here on the back streets of Makbulpura, we found a group of men who spend most of their days getting high. 22-year-old Garg has been taking drugs for 7 years.
I have hashish and smack. I used to have everything regularly.
He says drugs are easy to get when you know where to look. While we're talking, a man drops by to give his friend a packet of prescription pills purchased on the black market.
They smoke a lot. All of my generation has been spoilt by smack. If I have the money, I can get it easily, especially in the border areas.
The chance of getting arrested for drug use, they say, is minimal. It seems all too easy, but you don't have to go far to see the price this community is paying. A few hundred metres away from where these young men sit, Kanta is preparing for the day ahead. She lives in a place known as the Street of Widows. Almost 300 of the women here have lost their husbands to drugs.
I have 2 sons. One is 14 and the other 22. The first one falls sick regularly. I think it is because of his addiction. He does nothing at all. I'm sure he is on drugs.
Her youngest son, Manga, watches on as his mother breaks down. She's only 45, but the stress of living with these thoughts has aged her.
All these kids are on drugs. God knows if they will live. I pray for them. It is their lives and they are destroying it. I just pray for them.
The state government's currently doing a study to find out just how many Punjabis are addicted to drugs. Some experts worry the figure could be as high as 60% of the young male population.
Previously, say, I see 50 patients, out of which 40 patients used to be suffering from depression, anxiety and other psychiatric disorders, and 10 used to be patients with drug problems. Now the trend is just reversed. I have to see 40 patients of drug addiction and 10 patients of psychiatric problems.
Dr. P.D. Garg runs a rehabilitation clinic that has 50 beds at the Guru Nanak Dev Hospital in Amritsar. For 2 decades, he's worked with hundreds of patients.
There is no doubt that the society is degenerating. The social values are degenerating. And the youth is definitely very sick.
This is an increasingly common sight. A young patient from the local jail shackled to a bed under the watchful eye of the police. He's here because of a court order to get clean, but he'll soon be heading straight back to prison. But Dr. Garg says often the police are part of the problem. In a recent survey done at his hospital, 1 in 5 of the patients he was treating for drug addiction were police officers.
The policemen often tell us that once they capture a haul of drugs, that it is likely that he himself will become a drug addict, because when he keeps it, he gets tempted to use it and then gets hooked to it. Once he gets hooked to it, then he has to procure it. In order to procure it, he then goes into this drug dealing, drug trading, drug peddling. All these things then go simultaneously.
See, such allegations do take place wherever the forces are working. Forces are doing their job they are supposed to do. And those people who do not like forces doing this definitely make some allegation or other.
In recent years, officers with the Narcotics Board and Border Security Force, or BSF, have been convicted and jailed over links to drug smuggling.
At times, BSF has been very good, no doubt, but at times there are people who have fallen on the way and who got involved in the smuggling. I am aware of 2 deputy commandants who were caught red-handed accepting heroin packages from across the border.
Ian Ramahan was the Director General of the Border Security Force in the late 90s. He retired in 2000, but suspects members of the force are still involved in the smuggling trade.
Knowing the general trend of things, I think a certain amount of smuggling must be going on, and it cannot go on unless there is involvement of the staff.
This culturally and financially rich state is facing a seemingly unwinnable battle. There are not enough rehab centres to cater for the growing number of addicts. Punjab lacks the resources and willpower to stop the flow of drugs from its neighbours and internal black market. But if it doesn't change soon, this Indian province risks losing a generation of young men to a spiralling epidemic.
So we are just thinking that we have to save our children. We have to save them from this